Radio Merseyside.
Now, at 8 minutes to 3, whether you belt out ballads in the shower or you regularly make a racket in the bedroom, singing is something that has such power to connect lots of people. And these days you can do that from the comfort of your own home, online with the Sofa Singers. James Sills and Mersey Wylie are freelance musicians and choir leaders who lead hundreds of people in this whole new venture, singing online together weekly as part of a global singing community. And they're so passionate about the holistic benefits of the group coming together from all over the place. And I'm thrilled to say that the lovely James and Mersey are with us this afternoon. Thank you for being with us, first of all.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm going to start with you, James. Tell us a bit more about the history with your connection with singing and how you became involved in setting up the group.
Well, yeah, so Sofa Singers actually began just over 3 years ago as a knee-jerk reaction to, I know we don't like to talk about it these days, but to COVID and to lockdown. We couldn't obviously meet together. We certainly couldn't sing together. And about a week before the first lockdown, I set up what I thought would be an experimental one-off session on this technology called Zoom that I'd never used before. Me sitting on my sofa at home leading a song from behind my guitar because, you know, I knew well about the uplifting power of singing together. I saw the Italians singing from the balconies and I thought, well, how can we recreate this online? And well, Zoom almost crashed because 500 people logged in from every corner of the world. And an hour and a half later, after our first session, I just had that same buzz and glow as when, you know, I run singing in the room. And that love of singing and that love of connecting with people really is thanks to my experiences singing alongside Mersey in Liverpool. We both started singing together in Sense of Sound Singers with Jennifer John and Perry Ellen Hughes. And that really, I think, sparked a lifelong passion for both of us, not just for singing, but for sharing it with other people.
Being part of something as well, James, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Mersey, first of all, great name.
Thank you.
Can you just do a little off-kilter and just talk about that very quickly?
I'm in the right place, aren't
Yeah.
I?
So how come your name Mersey?
My dad's a very proud Liverpudlian. So, yeah, there's actually a song by Pavlov's dog called A Girl Called Mersey, and that was the inspiration.
Fab. I hope you're liking your TV screens here in the studio with the moving Mersey.
It's
for
fabulous.
You. No expense spared. And what's your connection then? Obviously, you both met with, as James has just said, with Sense of Sound. And this has really gone huge, hasn't it? Even before you've arrived, we've had loads and loads of people being in touch. Just a few shout outs from the people that have emailed in.
Beautiful. Yeah, we've got lovely Laura in Northampton's emailed in, Carolyn in Cork over in Ireland.
We've got Jill in Sheffield and Karen in Tunbridge Wells and Margaret in Tyneside, just writing some beautiful things. We might get some time to read them out later, but wow, it's just amazing.
And that feedback is how much they're benefiting from being part of the initiative. And it's extremely successful. And again, people kind of thought, well, we'll get back to normal. A lot of Zooming going on. But this in itself has really worked, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, James and I have both been running choirs for a long time and really connected over singing. And we'd spoken just a couple of months before Sofa Singers was set up about working together more and finding opportunities to work together more because we're both so passionate about singing and singing together. And this sort of just, you know, it was like a perfect storm, wasn't it? It just all happened at the right time. And yeah, I don't think we knew how much of an impact it would have and that we'd still be doing it more than 3 years later. It's been amazing.
So talk me through a session then. What happens?
So what happens is that every week we run a session, or rather we run 2 sessions. I'll explain why in a moment, but we focus on 1 song per week, and we've only repeated 1 song, which was the Beatles' Here Comes the Sun, because that was such a popular choice. But every week we focus on a different song, and what song is it this week? I've completely forgotten.
The Everly Brothers.
Thank you. This week we're doing, this is a terrible promotion, this week we're doing the Everly Brothers, Devoted to You. And what happens is for about the first 45 minutes, myself or Mersey or whoever else is leading the session will basically take you through the song. So we'll do about 5 minutes of breathing, just arriving, a bit of stretching, warming the voice up as we would do in a regular choir rehearsal. And then I kind of teach the main melody, I play the guitar to accompany, and people are joining in from home, but from behind the safety of the mute button. Because whilst Mersey and I are really passionate about singing, we know that so many people feel really inhibited and scared to sing in public. And we actually found that this kind of format where people are singing with other people because they can see each other on the Zoom screen, but actually from, you know, the safety of the mute button really allows people to really kind of sing out. So I lead the song in that way. And then for people who want a little bit more, I pre-record some harmonies so you can hear different layers, so you can maybe have a go at something a bit more complex, and so you can then have a go at harmonising with me. And after about 45 minutes, we kind of piece the song together. And whether you've known the song before or whether you haven't, you can then sing it through with confidence. We then have a little energy check-in and find out how everyone's feeling, and that's always really interesting, isn't it? You know, there are some songs that really energize people and bring them joy. There are some songs that really kind of slow people down and make them a bit more, you know, thoughtful. It's a beautiful thing. So that's the first 45 minutes, and then I feel like you should tell people about what comes after, Mersey, because this is kind of more your domain, isn't it?
Yeah, the hidden gem of the Sofa
basis.
Singers, I think, is the second half of the session. We run an open mic, which is where we get our community members to perform or pop in and have a chat, share things that have been going on in their lives, share their creativity, and it's become such a beautiful part of the session. We didn't really know how it would work at the beginning, and now every week about 5 or 6 people pop in, some regulars, some that, you know, for the first time, and share things that are going on in their lives, share songs with us, their poems, their stories,
but their lives in itself, isn't it? Because they're part of this massive community.
Yes.
And you might be the only contact for that week being part of this.
Totally.
What's the feedback regarding well-being and that whole area of, again, we know endorphins just kick off madly when people are just, you know, doing that art of singing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are just so many ways in which singing is just so good for our physical and for our mental health. I mean, Mersey and I could literally talk about this for hours, but I mean, I think the way, particularly with Sofa Singers, is that it's a weekly habit, so people really look forward to it. We run our sessions 50 weeks a year because we know that it's a cornerstone of people's week where they can forget about everything else. And like I mentioned in the warm-ups, we breathe, so we breathe deeper, we lower our blood pressure, and then when we're kind of, you know, singing, there's all these endorphins, we get the dopamine hit from achieving something, and because we can see other people, we get this kind of feeling of synchronicity. So it's a bit like, you know, like a Netflix watch party, but it's so much greater than that, because you're seeing all these people, you know, maybe on other sides of the world, who are singing the same song as you at the same time. And I mean, there are so many, you know, studies about singing and what happens to us collectively, but one that blows my mind always is that when you're singing together for more than about 5 minutes, your heartbeats start to synchronize because you're breathing in and out at the same time, you're phrasing at the same time. So Mersey and I are there, you know, sitting on our respective couches at home leading these songs, knowing that we are literally synchronizing heartbeats around the world, and that is just, that's
beautiful.
amazing.
Sadly, time's beaten us, so we'll get to the all-important contact of how new members can join and find out more about Sofa Singing and the Sofa Singers group in itself.
Yeah, so you can book onto it through Eventbrite, and you can also find out more information at our website.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to try it out, you can book an individual session every Tuesday, every Friday, and then we have a wonderful members group for people who want to get a bit more of a deeper experience where they can watch sessions on catch up, they can connect with other members in the Facebook group, and they get all the links automatically to their inbox. So you can find all about that at thesofasingers.com. There's quite a few little videos on YouTube about us. You'd be really, really welcome. It is an incredibly warm, friendly community, and just scanning these emails, that is the gist of what people are saying. Yeah.
James Sills and Mersey Wylie, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to get on the couch now and put the mute on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.